Welcome, dear students, to another class of informatic practices. Today, we are going to talk about functions. So, function refers to a set of statements or instructions grouped under a name that perform specific tasks. So, you can say a function is also a collection of statements. Okay, for repeated or routine tasks, we define a function. So, Python provides us built-in function as well as user-defined function. So, this print, input, and this int, these are the inbuilt function in Python. So a function is defined once and can be reused at multiple places in a program. Once we have defined the function, we can use it anywhere in our code. It is reusable, okay, by simply writing the function name, that is by calling that function. Whenever we are writing that function name, that means we are calling that function, okay. That means we are executing that particular function. Suppose we have a program which requires to calculate compound interest at multiple places. Now, instead of writing the same code again and again, what we can do is we can create a function called calculate compound interest. That is comp interest. That is the simple form, or you can the short form of calculating compound interest. And inside that function, we can write the common code to take input like interest rate, duration, and principal. And when we can calculate interest and display the result. So we can simply call that function by writing the function name calc comp int whenever compound interest is to be computed, and thus reuse the code to save time and effort. So meaning of saying this thing is, if we want the same code at multiple places, so instead of writing the same code multiple times, we can form a separate function and we can call it whenever we require it. Okay, so see, Python has many predefined functions. Predefined means that is also known as built-in functions, that is provided by the Python programming language. Okay, we have already used two built-in functions, that is print and input, that is given here. A module is a Python file in which multiple functions are grouped together. That means you can say a module is just a library where we will find different types of multiple functions. These functions can easily be used in Python programs by importing that particular module. That is, a particular module is just a collection of programs. When we are importing that particular module, we can use its inbuilt functions. So this print and build input, they are already there, and without any import statement we can use them. Okay, to use inbuilt function, we must know the following about the function. So for using a function, we should know some things related to the function. First is function name, that is name of the function. Second, arguments. Arguments means what we are providing in brackets. Okay, while calling a function, we may pass value called arguments enclosed in parentheses to the function. The functions work based on these values. Whatever we are writing in these brackets, that is based on the values, and the function may or may not have arguments. We can directly write print brackets, and we can write within brackets whatever message we want to display, and variable also. So it may or may not have arguments. That depends on the programmer. Okay, return value. A function may or may not return one or more values. A function performs some task, you can say. So a function performs operation on the basis of argument passed to it, and the result is passed back to the calling point. Some functions do not return any value, so don't worry about return time right now. Just know about the function name and what type of arguments we can pass it. Return type we will discuss when we are having that particular code. Okay, next is Python has many predefined built-in functions. We have used also, let us consider the example Python code that is using built-in function. So input, int, print, they are known as built-in functions. So code is given here, calculate square of a number. So num is a variable, int is a function, input is a function. In that we are receiving enter a first value or number, and then square is equal to num into num. This program we have already done. So this is an example of built-in function. Now observe about this program. Two built-in functions are used in the first statement, that is int and input. The third line has a function that is print. So the input function accepts an argument. That is, this is the argument, enter your name, this is an argument. Argument is the value that we passed within these parentheses. So now you will understand these statements more clearly with this observation. Okay. Next, see, similarly, the print function has 4 arguments, the square of, comma. So arguments are separated by comma, is square separated by comma. So the int function in the first line takes an argument, that is the value entered by the user from the keyboard, and then convert it into a string and returns it. So thus the return value from the int function is an integer. Okay, so some of the built-in functions are shown here in the table. So first is input output, that is input function, and print function. Then data type conversion, bool, char, dict, float, int. So int we have used. Similarly, we can use the float also, list, odd, set, string, tuple. So these are functions also. Okay, data type as well as functions also. And the same function you have to use like that is given in list. Mathematical functions are ABS, that is absolute value, divide, module, max, min, par, sum. Okay, and some other import. With import we can use the other function, that is import is a module. So length, range, type, these type of methods we can use. So this is about just the introduction of functions. Okay, that's all for today class. Thank you student. We will continue this unit in the next class.